The Saints and Mystics reading cards are a beautiful introduction to a variety of saints, mystics, and brilliant minds found along the paths both magical and mundane, here to shape our awareness of the spiritual world, expand our consciousness, and opening our minds to discovering enlightenment and love. In this video, I'll be discussing the Saints and Mystics reading cards, flipping through the deck and going beneath the surface of the cards to explore what enrichment you can potentially gain by working with this interesting oracle. I'm Leroy, and I want to start off by saying that I genuinely hope you are doing well today. On this channel, I review tarot decks and occult books, and I also make content regarding magic and saint work, so if that type of content sparks joy in you, then consider subscribing, as I post new content regularly. Now let's go ahead and get into the video. Saints and Mystics Reading Cards is a deck by Rockpool Publishing and comes with a full-color 87-page guidebook and 36 oracle cards. The sturdy box features Saint Teresa on the front, and it uses a magnet to keep itself closed. The card holder on the inside of the box is a bit too shallow for the deck, so the cards can and will slide around within the deck box. The cards were created by Andres Engracia and were illustrated by Wesley Souza, and I'll discuss more about each of them a little later in the video. The back of the box reads, "The beautifully illustrated 36-card deck brings to life the stories and mystical knowledge of some of history's most fascinating spiritual and mystical figures. From Nostradamus and Marie Laveau to St. Jude, Isaac Newton, and St. Sebastian. Each card unlocks key facts about these inspiring men and women, along with psychic tips to connect it to their great wisdom and eternal spirits." Below that, we see a little blurb about the author stating, Andres Engracia is a psychic medium who has developed unique mystical practices that have been influenced by his Spanish-Mexican ancestry of psychics and brujas. So we're going to take a look at the cards first, and then we'll discuss the contents of the accompanying book. The deck is split right down the middle with 18 saints and 18 mystics, and one thing that immediately is going to stand out to you is the fact that the saint cards and mystic cards actually have different card backs. There's a heavenly dove for the saints with a blue cosmos for the mystics. I found this a bit jarring at first, but over time I've gotten used to it, and I'm used to the different card backs, and I barely even notice nowadays. Each card features a keyword beneath the saint's name or mystic's name, and the cardstock is on the thin side, so they're glossy, so shuffling shouldn't really be an issue. The saints are numbered 1 through 18. The cards for the Mystics are numbered 19 through 36. I'm pretty sure this deck came out in 2018 and it's still available to buy, priced at around $20 at the time of this video. The book is a really nice size and is full color with 87 pages. In the intro, the author Andres states that you can use these cards for prayer, spiritual practices, or simply for studying, that these saints are available to everyone, but that saints are not vending machines, and that we must carry respect into our devotions. Andres hopes to add to the legacies of these saints and mystics by illuminating a fresh perspective and ways to incorporate their philosophies, teachings, and strengths into our modern lives. Here we see how to use the cards, how to make a connection with the deck, some interesting ways to cleanse and charge the deck, as well as a few readings. The book really only has one truly unique reading called The Saints and Mystics Cross Spread, which is very deep and exceptionally introspective. We have a meaning of the word saint and then the saint cards themselves. We have the cards' image and color, their patronage, their feast day, and as well we also have a little bio of their life or their story. Then we have an oracle meaning for each saint card, and these oracle meanings are spread into three categories. The emotional meaning, which is for guidance dealing with your emotional state. The spiritual meaning, which is for guidance relating to energy work, chakras, and spirituality. And the conscious meaning, for more or less practical advice as it applies to daily life or everyday thoughts and growth. After the meanings, there is information on how to petition the saint, their likes, dislikes, and areas of resonance or expertise. Lastly, there's an invocation or a rhyming poem that reads like a spell or an affirmation. This calls on that particular saint. There's a good bit of information packed in here, and it really impressed me, especially the saints' bios and the information on how to literally do petition work with them. This information is here for all of the saints. For the mystics, there's a definition of the word mystic, which obviously gives us a sense of deja vu. And then there are the mystic pages themselves, which have an image of the card, a small title for the mystic, a life summary, and then the oracle meanings emotionally, spiritually, and consciously, just like before. Below that, instead of a petition or an invocation to the saint, we have a direct quote by each mystic. The only complaints I've ever heard about this deck is that some people were put off by how pretty all of the saints looked, saying that they all looked like models, and I can see that. Personally, I think the realism of the cards is striking and the colors are breathtaking. The images have a power to them, some more than others. I've worked with Santa Muerte and Saint Expedite, so seeing them here was a treat, and it was really refreshing. Any of these cards would look good on any personal altar, on social media, or even if they were just being used for like a client reading. In the back of the book, we have an About the Author page where you can read about his eclectic interests and spiritual practices, and about his healing profession and the metaphysical workshop he runs. There's also an About the Illustrator page. In here, you can read about the artist and his expertise in photo manipulation and his inspirations. So, what are your thoughts on the Saints and Mystics reading cards? My only serious criticism is that I wish there were more cards, because using this deck is time well spent. Do you have a favorite card from the deck art-wise? I'm curious if any of you agree that these arts resemble romance novel covers or that they are too attractive. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. If you enjoyed this video, then be so kind and drop a like. And if you want more content like this, then subscribe, as I'd love to have you become a part of this little community. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.